There's really nothing quite as frustrating as uh, following all the rules, doing everything exactly right on paper, and still failing spectacularly. It is like confidently following your GPS step by step right into a swamp.
I mean, we have all been there.
Right. And that exact frustration is really at the heart of an incredibly unique source we are unpacking for you today. It is a deep dive into a comic book style case file from the I.M.P.A.C.T.A human behavior model.
Yeah, case one, the case of the missing Agile mindset.
Exactly. And it features these investigating dogs, Oliver and Gordon, and Olga, the chief agile wizard.
It sounds wild, I know, but it is a brilliant way to explore organizational psychology. Because beneath that whole cartoon exterior, it tackles this massive issue of why corporate productivity frameworks often create, way more meetings than actual results.
Which matters so much because if you have ever felt trapped in that endless loop of check-ins that just go nowhere, this breakdown is really going to change how you view your team's workflow.
For sure. So, the case study opens with this really severe contradiction. We see a company that is flawlessly executing their agile ceremonies. I mean, perfectly.
Like totally by the book.
By the book. They do daily stand-ups for quick updates. They do sprint planning to map out the next few weeks, retrospectives, all of it. And their Kanban boards, those visual grids tracking who is doing what, they are just pristine.
But the actual outcome is a complete disaster. Customers are unhappy, teams are exhausted, and the managers are just furious.
Yeah, the system is totally broken.
It makes me think of an engineering team flawlessly constructing this structurally perfect, incredibly beautiful bridge that just doesn't actually connect to any roads.
Right, you executed the blueprint.
But the end product is completely useless.
Exactly. And that huge disconnect drives the central question for everyone at this fictional company. They keep asking, well, if we're doing Agile, why isn't it working?
Because they are mistaking the visible symptoms of work for the actual root cause of their failure.
You nailed it. And then Golden the dog uncovers this major clue. Agile was never designed to just give people a new checklist to follow. It was actually meant to help people think differently about how work gets done.
Wait, but shouldn't a rigid structure like Scrum, where work is tightly boxed into those strict time frames, shouldn't that eventually force you to think differently just by repeating the motions?
You think so, right?
Yeah, like if you do the routine long enough, doesn't your brain naturally just catch up?
It seems logical, but behavioral science tells us otherwise. Olga, the chief agile wizard in the story, she actually hits the nail on the head. She says, processes tell you what to do, but a mindset changes how you think.
Oh, wow. That is a great distinction.
It really is. A process organizes the work, and we do need organization, but only a mindset can transform the people who are actually doing the work.
So just showing up to a 15-minute morning meeting doesn't mean you magically care about the customer's problem.
Right. It literally just means you attended a meeting. Process compliance without the right mindset is, well, it is just empty motion.
So if motion doesn't equal progress, how do teams actually pivot? The source outlines these 7 principles in the I.M.P.A.C.T.A acronym, like imagine the customer, make value visible, act together.
Yeah, create incrementally, always improve, all of those.
Right. But I want to dig into how this actually works in practice. Take the principle, people before process. How does that change, say, a regular Tuesday morning?
Practically, it means giving the team permission to just abandon a tool if it is blocking them.
Really? Just drop it?
Yeah, like if updating that pristine Kanban board takes an hour away from actually solving a software bug, people before process dictates that you drop the board and fix the bug. The goal isn't a tidy board. The goal is a working product.
That makes a lot of sense. Another principle that stands out is think in outcomes. But if we stop meticulously tracking whether the morning stand-up happened or if the board is perfectly updated, how do managers practically measure success?
By completely changing the questions they ask.
Okay, like what?
Instead of looking at a checklist and asking, did we follow Scrum today? Leaders need to ask things like, are we creating value for the user? Are we learning from our mistakes together? Are we solving the problem?
So you measure success by the impact of the work, not just the sheer volume of the output.
Exactly. The entire investigation essentially boils down to this one core sequence. When your thinking changes, your behaviors change.
And when your behaviors change, teams become extraordinary. It is that vital shift from just doing things right to actually doing the right thing.
Right, and that mindset is exactly what turns an exhausted, overmanaged group of individuals into an actual team.
I love that. And the source actually teases the next case file at the very end, titled The Case of the Busy Team That Delivered Nothing.
Which is such a good title.
It really is.
Yeah.
So we want to leave you with a challenge today based on that teaser. Take a hard look at your own calendar this week.
Look at all the meetings, the tracking tools, the constant updates.
Exactly. Ask yourself, are you just flawlessly building a bridge to nowhere, or are you actually creating value?